Life after death. We do not die but pass into another world, into a new life. Life after clinical death, an eyewitness's story.
How the soul of the deceased says goodbye to relatives can he come to visit. We often wonder how the soul of a deceased person says goodbye to loved ones. Where does she go and what path does she make? After all, it is not in vain that the days of remembrance of those who have gone to another world are so important. Someone does not believe in the existence of the soul after the death of a person, someone, on the contrary, diligently prepares for this and strives for his soul to live in paradise. We will try to deal with the questions of interest and understand whether there really is life after death and how the soul says goodbye to relatives. You did not pay attention that sometimes in life when you find yourself in a dead-end situation, a person appears who shows a way out of it. It is like a ray of light illuminating your life, which has been covered by darkness. The appearance of such a person at a difficult moment is not accidental. The spirit of the deceased person organizes a meeting with him, giving you the opportunity to find a way out of the difficult situation that has arisen. How do the souls of the dead communicate with the living? Many who have lost loved ones know the feelings that loss evokes: emptiness, longing, and wild pain in the soul. Grieving for the departed loved ones is one of the most painful psychological conditions. However, there's a lot of information that the living receive messages from the subtle world. We will not take into account researchers who are purposefully studying the possibilities of two-way communication with the other world. There are quite a few people who claim that they make no effort to see the souls of the departed. Visions occur, in their opinion, involuntarily. Stuck between worlds. People are often frightened when footsteps are clearly heard in their houses where no one walks. Water taps and light switches turn on by themselves. Things can fall off the shelves with enviable regularity. In other words, poltergeist activity is observed. But what is really happening? To understand who or what communicates with us on behalf of the dead, we need to imagine what happens after death. After the death of the physical body, the soul seeks to return to the Creator. Some souls will do it faster, while others will take longer. The higher the level of development of the soul, the faster it will reach the home. However, the soul can, for various reasons, linger in the astral plane, which is closest in density to the physical world. Sometimes the deceased is not aware of what is happening and where he is. He does not understand that he is dead. He is not able to return to the physical body and gets stuck between the worlds. For him, everything remains the same, except for one thing. Living people stop seeing them. Such souls are considered to be ghosts. How long this soul ghost will stay near the world of the living depends on the level of development of the soul. By human standards, the time spent by a certain soul in parallel with living people can be calculated in decades or even centuries. They may need the help of the living. A call from beyond. Phone calls from the inhabitants of the subtle world are one of the ways of communication. SMS comes to mobile phones. Calls come from strange numbers from a multitude of numbers. When trying to call back to these numbers or send a response, it turns out that this number does not exist, and later it is completely deleted from the phone's memory. Such calls, as a rule, are accompanied by a very strong noise, similar to the wind in the field, and a loud crash. Through crackling, contact with the world of the dead is manifested. It's like a curtain breaks between the worlds. The phrases are short and only the caller speaks. Calls coming to mobile phones are observed for the first time after a person has died. The farther from the day of death, the rarer they become. The recipients of such calls may not suspect that the caller is dead. This is clarified later. It is possible that such calls are made by ghosts who themselves are not aware of their physical death. What do the dead talk about when they call on the phone? Sometimes by calling on the phone, the dead may ask for help. So, one woman received a call late in the evening from her younger sister, who asked for help. But the woman was very tired, so she promised to call back the next morning and help in any way she could. And about 5 minutes later, the younger sister's husband called and said that for about 2 weeks his wife had been dead, and her body was in the forensic morgue. She was hit by a car and the driver fled the scene. Souls, by calling on the phone, can warn about the danger of the living. The young family was driving. A girl was driving. The car skidded, and it miraculously did not roll over, moving off the road. At this time, the girl's mobile phone rang. When everyone came to their senses a little, it turned out that the girl's mother called. She called back, and she asked in a trembling voice if everything was all right. When asked why she asked, the woman replied, "Grandfather called, he died 6 years ago," said, "She is still alive. You can save her." In addition to cell phones, the voices of dead people can be heard on computer speakers along with technical noises. Their degree of intelligibility can vary from very quiet and barely intelligible to relatively loud and clearly distinguishable.
See also other interesting videos about life after death on our channel.